Hey y'all, this is another video that I found on a couple brothers talking about energy and how the brain works and how the brain is a musical instrument, and they're just explaining it a lot better and in a way that I can't explain it to you guys. So I'm putting these videos up so you guys can see it, and yeah, just tell me what you think. Thank you.
Was the brain is a musical instrument. Now I heard about the brain being influenced by musical instruments, but the way you explained it was a little different. You said your brain is literally a instrument. So I want to have a good conversation. We could get into some quantum physics. We could get into some, some science, some metaphysics, some spirituality, all of that. And but let's start like that. What do you mean, Kev, by the brain is a musical instrument, my brother?
Um, well, that I think that show you're talking about that was a God class I did.
Yeah, it was.
The brain is a musical tuning fork,
Mm-hmm.
and so basically, your most people think your thoughts come from your brain, but they don't. They just everything that you want to know as far as knowledge already exists.
Mm-hmm.
It's only vibration and frequency. That's the true essence of the universe is vibration and frequency.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you resonate this vibration and frequency? So basically, what we know as matter, geometry and shape is just a musical symphony of vibration and frequency. And so, with that being said, the universe had to create the ultimate, instrument to be able to resonate those vibrations.
Mm-hmm.
And so, your brain, is when you really get down to it, your brain basically how you create thought or you register thought in your brain is with synapses, right? So let me go back. So for all those who want to reference this and get a good breakdown of it, there's a book called Occult Geometry and the Science of Hermetic Motion and Number. Actually, here
I
you
got
go.
it. Okay. Yeah, show that. A code geometry. Can somebody put that in the chat? I should put it, but my keyboard is a little far.
This is an old book. Yeah, so I don't know you, but I found this 20 something years ago. I paid $10 for it. I may have to pay a little bit more.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say I can imagine how much it costs now, man.
Yeah, this is you can see it's worn as hell. But
Yeah.
because it's out of print, it's actually two books in one. And so the first half of it breaks down geometry, just the creation of the line, from the line, the
Mm-hmm.
circle, the square, the pyramid, all of those things. That geometry holds a certain vibration. So there's a something called cymatics. There's a science that they indulge in called cymatics, and cymatics is vibrations relation to form. So in the experiments, you can YouTube the experiments. What they'll do is they'll take some type of plate, resonant plate, and
Mm-hmm.
they'll pour some type of sand or um, pollen or some shit like that on it,
Mm-hmm.
something really really light, and then they'll run the frequency. They'll run a vibration, or frequency through the plate,
Mm-hmm.
and the higher the frequency, the sand or pollen will start to create, sacred geometry. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's insane. So so basically saying that certain frequencies have a definite shape and form. And then you
Mm-hmm.
extrapolate that, you go as above, so below. That would mean that everything that we see with shape and form has a definite frequency and vibration. That is an actual science in the universe. Caucasians don't dispute that. They'll take anything and say, they'll take a pencil and say, oh, this pencil frequency, something, something, point something. Or, they'll take a remote control. A remote control has a definite frequency. So uh, they'll that's an actual thing, that everything that you see with a certain shape or form has a different frequency. So again, that's because everything in the universe is vibration and frequency. So then how do we resonate that? So your brain, so just like, so if you take a guitar or you take a piano, and the strings on a guitar, on a piano, so they have to be tuned right. You know, in order for you to register the vibration, when you're on a guitar, you strum the guitar, and the string is resonating the frequency, the vibration from your finger and the string, right? And then it creates a certain sound based on the density of that string. Creates a certain C or A or whatever it is, right? Same thing with a piano. If you look inside a piano, they have the same type of strums on, inside a piano. And when you tap on a key, a hammer strikes the string, and it resonates a certain vibration. So same thing with your brain. Your brain, what we call synapses, are basically brain fibers, or just like a string on a excuse me, a string on a guitar or a piano. And so if everything that we know, everything that we know as information it already exists, then it exists from a low frequency to a super high vibrational frequency. Like it's moving super slow, the vibration is moving super slow, or it's boom, 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 it's moving super fast. So things that move super fast, vibration that moves super fast, it can actually move through things. Has anybody seen the Flash? When he wants to walk through walls and shit, he speeds up his vibration, right?
Right,
So
right.
the wall. But what happens is the thicker the wall is, the faster he has to vibrate, or the Flash will get caught with whatever the medium he's trying to walk through. So they've shown this through it in the comic books, and if you've seen any animated or live thing of Flash, that stuff has happened. So your brain fiber is like the dense thing that the Flash is trying to move through. The thicker that brain fiber is, remember, you got all these vibrations moving through your body at once, all the time. Very low vibration to very high vibration. So low vibrations register with us all the time. You see the low people with the low thoughts in the universe. There's far more of them than there is conscious people. But so then how do we register the conscious thought? That brain fiber, it slows, and this is true for the lower vibrations too, but that brain fiber or synapse is doing, it's slowing the vibration down that's moving through your body so fast. This is what they call tachyon energy. It just vibrates. It's the underlying energy of the universe. It just moves through everything. But if you have a medium that's thick enough to slow that vibration down, then it will register in whatever that medium is. And so that's basically what your brain is. When you're learning a certain subject, what you're doing is whatever that subject is. Before, say you don't know anything, what happens is your brain has to, when you start to learn a certain subject, it starts to create the synapse in your brain to learn that certain subject. So how it starts off, it takes a cluster of cells first, moves into one thing, and from that cluster of cells, it starts to grow that synapse, right? And it moves out, and then it connects to another cluster of cells, and then that one line, that synapse right there, is the vibrational strum, so to speak, for the information that you're trying to learn. And the more and more you learn that information, the thicker that strum gets. And so you'll start to slow down more and more information or
Hey,
frequency.
Kev, let me show them an example of what you're talking about.
Yeah, go ahead.
So they could get so they could, so y'all could visualize it better. All right.
There you go.
Yeah. So all right. So the synapses, the strings, is these right here.
Yep. Those right there. And so when you're learning a certain subject, that string right there gets denser and denser for whatever vibration it is, or whatever knowledge frequency that you're trying to learn. And it slows that vibration down, and you start to learn more and more and more of that vibration until at some point you become a tuner for that frequency. At some point in time, you don't have to keep learning it and learning it. At some point in time, you tune yourself to the vibration of that frequency, and then you start to superconduct the energy from that. So basically the difference between semiconductivity and superconductivity is when energy moves from point A to point B, when it's moving through any medium, it has a loss of energy by heat, right? So if it's moving from point A to point B, as it's moving through that medium, say like a wire or something like that. And that really doesn't move through the wire. We'll get in that to a minute. Energy doesn't actually flow from point A to point B through a wire. We'll get in that to a minute. The electricity creates a magnetic field, and the energy, the power is actually within the magnetic field around the wire. But for this point, for superconductivity or semiconductivity, when energy is moving back and forth from point A to point B, or you have that energy, trying to oscillate between the two, it'll lose energy and heat. Yeah.
Hey, Kev, so what's melanin's is melanin a semiconductor or a superconductor? And what's its role?
It's both. It's both. I'm trust me, I'm about to get into all of that.
Okay. All right.
I'm getting into all of that. But so when you have a superconductivity to happen, all that needs to happen is point A and point E just needs to vibrate at the same frequency. If those 2 points are vibrating at the same frequency, energy or information can flow back and forth between those 2 points infinitely. Till one of the points vibration changes. Right.
But as long as you on that vibe, you pick up everything.
You get everything from that damn frequency. That's how superconductivity.
Come on, man. Go ahead, man. I love this shit. Go ahead, man.
Crazy. So that's why when you start to learn a certain, information or certain subject, the more and more you start learning, at some point in time, you don't have to keep learning about it. You just start your knowledge just starts to grow and grow because you're conducting that energy or channeling that energy. That's what they call when they say I'm channeling. That's what people actually mean when they say channeling. You have tuned yourself to the frequency of that knowledge. That knowledge starts to flow through you superconductively without loss. So that's what the difference is between superconductivity and semiconductivity. So as long as you stay tuned, you will flow that information will just constantly flow through you. And so this is the underlying understanding of the universe, that vibration and frequency. Tesla, he knew that. This is how he created, alternating current, which is basically what 80% of electrical devices are run on today. Is alternating current. Because again, the way, this is very important because I wanted to get into because we were talking about how information is all around you and all you have to do is have something to register the information or vibration. See, that's energy.
Okay, now if you watch the whole video with these two brothers explaining how the brain works and how information and how frequency and how you pick up on their frequency, really think about the things that you listen to on a day-to-day basis. Think about the things that you feed your attention to on a day-to-day basis. Think about what you're constantly seeing on a day-to-day basis. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I couldn't explain it like them like they could, but I understand it. I understand it, and I overstand it. And pretty much the gist of it is the eyes, the ears, and the mouth is food for the soul. That's food for the soul, right? So if you constantly see negativity and you're constantly speaking negativity and you're constantly hearing negativity, your reality will be nothing but negativity. Even your thoughts, you have to constantly filter your thoughts. You have to constantly filter what you see, have to constantly filter what you're speaking, and filter what you're hearing, right? Your environment plays a major role on your thoughts, your beliefs, and your reality, right? If you walk outside and all you see is people fighting, people arguing, people yelling, negativity, no one takes care of their surroundings on their property, is that energy is it's basically at a low frequency, right? And that low frequency affects you in ways whether you want to admit it or notice it or not. So you can skip my part. Just rewatch what they're saying or go to that video yourself. I'll leave the video in the description so you can find the actual original video where I got the screen recording from. But please go watch this video, go do some research, and really think and let it resonate on you, on your surroundings and what you're listening to, and the things that you feed your attention to, because the elites, this is how they control you, right? Really think about something. Why is everything that we know as entertainment sex, drugs, guns, or violence? Sex, guns, drugs, or violence. If it's entertainment, we should have some happy, peaceful, anything where they're telling us, like, I don't know, there's like, we need something more than negative that's being pushed in our face constantly on a day-to-day basis. You can literally see somebody getting gunned down live on Facebook. So really think about this stuff and think about our question. Why is the only thing that's being pushed in social media, the TV industries, the music industry, violence, sex, guns, and drugs? Just question, think about that. Why? And with that being said, I'll see you guys and bring more videos like this soon, or I'll be talking myself. So thank you and stay tuned, and stay tuned. Stay tuned for the new Age Aquarius channel, I guess. Thank you and stay blessed. Have a blessed day.